morning, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman. Back on the grind. Back to work today. The snow is melting. Hopefully by the end of the day, the snow will be gone. Surprisingly, there's still a nice amount of snow on the ground, meaning probably a couple inches that I gotta walk through, but it's supposed to be in the 49 today. So I expect a lot of melt to happen today. No rain, just cloudy. So I expect it to be gone. It'll be a little bit wet going, but it's what it is. Back to the grind, baby. The silly season it is. We're not even done the season. And morning coffee. The season's not even over. And the Super Bowl has not been played, and it's already the silly season. Now, as you know, I did a video the other day. It came with some whatever. People want to say what they're going to say. Whatever. Leave it in the chat. That's all I care about. About the Eagles. I do try and get out the content for you peeps as well. I have a lot of Eagle people. It's not always negative. It really isn't. I keep it real. But Joe Santoliquito, I was just watching Philly 500's video, watch Mark's video. Again, this isn't me. This is reporting. Just like we're reporting CeeDee's mom laying into Dak Prescott. Just like we're reporting Michael Parsons' father. He can't shut his mouth. Whatever. He's entitled to his opinion. That's his son. That doesn't mean Dak has that same opinion. And he came out and said so. Joe Santoliquito came out and put a scathing report on the situation behind the scenes with Jalen Hurts being aloof, being a prima donna, being unapproachable. Whatever. It's not me. That's just him. They're not saying he's a, And then Pro Football Talk yesterday comes out and says, well, there is an out in Jalen Hurts' contract. Do I think they're trading Jalen Hurts? No. But the fact that we've gotten here this fast is ridiculous. This is why we call it the silly season. But this isn't YouTubers doing it. Hello? This isn't YouTubers. These are journalists working for outlets who cover the team. This is not the offseason yet, people. This is not the offseason. He wanted Brian Johnson to stay. Jalen Hurts. Brian Johnson's gone. He gone. Seems to me that they are interviewing some high-profile coordinators. The latest one is the ex-Arizona coach coordinator. I can't think of his name right now. Help me out. Leave it in the chat. Who was fired. He's the one that coached Mahomes in college and couldn't win. So, go figure. But it is the silly season. And, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Don't shoot the messenger. It is what it is. But that's not I just wanted to touch on that because I just saw Philly 500's video. He got blocked by Joe Santoliquito. Because Philly calls it how it is. He calls you out on it. But, like Philly says, there's always a certain amount of truth in it because this isn't YouTubers. These are people who cover the team. That being said, I'm moving on to our shit show. Our shit show, I was watching, I'm going to give full disclosure. I was watching, it was kind of a mashup show yesterday. Oh, no. I was watching 105.3 The Fan. Check it out on YouTube. Brian Broaddus went off. And I've been saying it for a while now, and he basically confirmed it. Jerry Jones is not running anything, okay? Jerry Jones is a spokesman that carries titles that has not exercise. He's not exercising his authority on squat. And again, I'm not here to pick a fight with Mark Holmes because I don't know. I haven't really talked to Mark regarding how he feels about his stepson. Well, Wouldn't be stepson. Maybe stepbrother. Half-brother. Stepbrother. We'll go stepbrother. Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Catboy. Because Stephen Jones is, again, I said this in the offseason, and I'm going to say it again. Stephen Jones is the reason why we do things the way we do, and I'm going to get into it. He's the reason why that we don't ever go out and go all in. What have we been saying? To me, it's a contradiction, right? It's a contradiction to say you don't want to go all in because you don't want to have to, what, get a high draft pick? What's the one thing you tout your horn about doing, even though last year your draft class was the worst in the league based on minutes played in the NFL this year? I'm not saying it's a total loss, but based on immediate impact, we're last, Steven. So keep up your BS about we want to be in the mix. We've won 12 games in the last 3 years. Each year, 36 games. Hey, Mike McCarthy, for your own sake, I hope you're speaking up. Because why the hell would you want to stay in Dallas, Mike, if they're not going to do what you need done? Meaning go out and get yourself some studs. And as far as Drew blowing me up during the chat last night saying we're over the cap. Drew, that's nothing. You can't get under the cap like that. It's not a big deal. Stop it with the cap. I know you're not a Cowboy fan, but you are who the NFL likes. You're who Stephen Jones loves. Everybody worried about the cap. The friggin' New Orleans Saints were $75 million over the cap a few years ago, and they got under. Like that. Flip a couple switches, extend out a couple contracts. It's not a big deal. People get all you people who worried about the salary cap, all you're doing is doing the talking for the cheap ass owners who just want to be good and not go all in. I'm tired of being good. If I was Mike McCarthy, I would be yelling from rooftop to rooftop saying, why bring me back if you're not going to go out and get me a couple studs this offseason? Go get me a Vita. I'm not saying I want any particular person, but go get me a Vita Vea. Go get me an interior lineman. Go get me Leonard Williams. He's a free agent from Seattle Seahawks. Go get me any number of guys that you can put next to Hankins. Go get me, I don't know. Go get me a running back. I don't care. Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry. I've been calling for Derrick Henry. Getting to Derrick Henry. Mike Fisher, you broke it down last night. Shout out to Mike Fisher. He basically said Dallas wasn't in. Remember when I did the trade deadline show last year? Dallas was not in on him because he was making $12 million. And if they called about him, they wanted the Titans to pick up most of it. And they weren't going to do it. And I don't blame the Titans. The Titans, you got to realize, when you lose a player, you're going to get a compensation pick regardless. So if it's a 5th or a 6th round compensation pick, as opposed, that's probably what Dallas was offering. A 5th or probably Dallas was offering a 6th round pick and wanted the Titans to eat a certain amount of cap. Hey, Dallas, the Titans are already going to get a 6 as soon as he signs with somebody this year. So they don't, it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. But if I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm like, no, fire me. If you're not going to go out and change what you're doing, Stephen Jones, and how you do things to go win us a title, because I broke it down last night, me and Loyal Cowboy, on my lunch/dinner chat last night. We went an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half. Broke it down. We were 3-4 against playoff teams. 3-4 against this year's playoff teams. 1-3, lost 4. Below average against the good teams. We averaged 29 points a game against teams with over 500 record, winning teams. We gave our defense. Dan Quinn, everybody's saying, we did it with mirrors. We had 6 and 7 defensive backs on our defense in the playoff game. I overlooked it. I didn't do my homework. And that's on me. I should have been, but then again, if I would have said Dallas is going to lose, I'm sure people would have been yelling at me for that too, because I'm not a homer. You know, I expected them to win if they were a 7-point favorite. But our defense gave up 29 points a game against good teams. We only gave up 20 against sub-500 teams. There you go. We were 8-1 against sub-500 teams. We beat Seattle. That's another win. You could say they were a good team, bad team. They were on the cusp. I thought they were an average team. And then we were 3-4 against playoff teams. So when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, when you start playing the better teams in the league, we didn't cut it. And that's because we're thin, Jerry. We're thin. Your son, Stephen Jones, wants to maintain a certain level, I guess, to sell merchandise through the holidays, you know. The salute to service in November. You got the cancer stuff in October. The salute to service in November. And then you roll into the holidays, baby. You roll into all the merch for Christmas. I guess that's all you really care about. Because for a team that, you know, touts how great Will McClay is, and I like Will, and how good your analytics and drafting department is, and everybody pretty much says you're one of the best drafting teams in the league, even though last year's draft sucked. You fear having a high pick. God forbid you got to retool. Do you not have confidence in yourselves in retooling a team? And again, Mike McCarthy, why would you go along with this BS? Now we're hearing Dallas is prepared to go all in. Well, I'm going to be here to call you out on your BS if that's not the case. If we got to wait for an Anthony Barr to be our savior, I give them credit. They made a couple trades last year. But, you know, trades cost you something. You know what it cost you? Draft picks. Now we don't have a 4th this year, and we traded a 5th for Eric Scott, who never got on the field, to move up. So we don't have a 4th or a 5th round draft pick this year. We may get a compensation 5th. I don't believe so. I believe we're going to get 2 6-rounders. So we're going to have a 1, 2, 3, 2 6s, and a 7. You can't rebuild with that. I expect this. Listen, I'll be at the draft. I expect this to trade out of the 24th pick. I expect this to move, you know, to trade. I really do. We might have to give up a next year pick to move up this year. That's possible too. I want them to be creative, but I want them to go out and address a couple big needs. I want a D lineman and a linebacker prior to the draft. Okay? At least. That's free agents. That's not via trade. That's what I want to see. I broke down all the free agents that we had. So, very, very frustrating, but look out for my lunchtime chat. Chat? Did I just say chat? Yeah, I'm not going to chat on camera. Look out for my lunchtime chat. Hopefully 2:30. We'll see how the mail is. That's what I'm shooting for, 2:30 people. So, game time, Brian. I am at work. Actually, I'm around the corner from work. That's where our lot is. I'll talk to everybody later. But yes, Mike McCarthy, you need to be loud talking to Stephen Jones. And everybody who thinks Jerry Jones is running anything, he ain't running nothing. It's all Catboy. Mark Holmes, you need to revisit your stepbrother. Peace out.